Jesus, man, could you change the channel? Man, come on, I had a rough night and I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mozette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, I am Moses, and welcome to episode 717, the Eagles edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as the Seahawks get ready to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. So please put your tray table up and place your seats back in the full upright position. Settle in with a desired center beverage of your choice. And hey, what can I tell you? Time to roll up our sleeves and make a run to the Super Bowl. Let's make the posse for this episode. First, the yin to my yang, it is Matt from merry old England. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm over this Bonnie nonsense. I'm bored.
You're being bored, are you?
He chose a side.
Yeah.
I chose a side and I thought, no, I can't be on this fence any longer. I need games, football. I cannot have sitting around watching other rubbish teams lose.
Well, in 2 days, your wish shall be granted, sir.
Thank you very much. That's good news.
You're very welcome.
And it's at a sensible time. Well,
yes.
For me anyway.
For you it is, yes. We'll talk about that in third quarter as well. There's also our news hound, Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Wonderful, sir. Yourself?
I'm hanging in there. It's an auspicious day today.
Oh?
Yes, it's the 7th anniversary of the butt fumble.
Indeed.
Oh!
No,
7 years. I did not know that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, I remember watching that live and just thinking, what did I just see?
Something to celebrate 7 years later.
Yeah, 7 years later.
That dirty, fumbling Sanchez.
The dirty Sanchez had a new meaning. Speaking of that, here's Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Ow.
I had
Nice.
the segue, man. That's what I was
Nice.
given. I'm sorry. Hi,
All
Dustin.
right.
How are you? I miss you.
I'm good, man. I'm looking forward to all the action on a Sunday night. It is going to be the mid-season finale for The Walking Dead.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Very exciting.
Yep.
Finally got around to seeing last week's episode and was rather shocking. So,
Do you want to know what happens?
No.
I already
And-
know. I can tell you.
No one's listening. It's not like they care. No.
Yeah, it's true.
And of course, our man from behind enemy line stats man, Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hello, speaking of Walking Dead. Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Can you hear the enthusiasm?
Yes. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm hanging in there. It's, it's living behind enemy lines. There's, that revival spirit of the whole Niner thing.
They're
It's
excited, aren't
interesting.
they? They are excited, but they better watch their backs. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's episode 168, our 168th episode of this show. So that'll make you feel a little old. Gentlemen, let's get to it, shall we? Yes, this show's run like a real NFL football game. 4 quarters and a halftime. Quarter 1, we have Will and news. Quarter 2, we will talk a little bit about the rest of the season coming up. We'll look at the schedule real quick and see what the Seahawks have in store for them as they try to finish out strong to this season and into the postseason, we all hope. At halftime, it is the best Seahawk-themed trivia game on the internet, referred to, of course, 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
Of the world.
of the world, and I believe Will was champion last week.
Yeah, it surprised me too.
In spectacular fashion, if I remember right. It was a
Yes.
good one.
It was, yes. Yeah, it was a 69, dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so congratulations. Quarter 3 and quarter 4, we will devote to the Seahawks and Eagles football game that's going to be coming up this Sunday, early game. Quarter 3, we'll have an injury report, we'll have a weather report, we'll have a fashion report, we'll have some numbers for you, and we'll even have a sermon of Seahawk positivity related to that game. And we'll put all that together in quarter 4, make our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for that very game between the Seahawks and the Eagles. Before we start, please like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We do have a game thread during the games that we're on there, just kind of letting our emotions get the best of us most of the time. We're also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email at 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Look for this very show, downloadable podcast version of this show on iTunes and Podbean. But before we get the news, there is something I do want to share. If you remember last week, we talked about a guy that had a cat named very appropriately, DK Metcat. He had gotten a cat, and I thought it was the best name ever, and I still stand by that. Well, he wrote back to us, and
well, his lawyer did.
Well, yeah, because
cease and desist, that whole thing.
Well, you know how that goes. So anyway, I wrote him and said, hey, we mentioned you on the show. We might want to check it out because I know he listens anyway, right? Because everybody listens to the show. But
he's the one.
He's the one. So he actually wrote back and he said, just listened. Thank you guys so hawking much. And yeah, I'll probably get a Seahawks binky for him to wear on his collar. Hashtag much love. Hashtag go Hawks. So, and that was from Mike Seahawk. So Mike Seahawk, thanks again for listening to that show. I hope you listen to this show. And best luck with DK Metcat. I hope it turns out to be a great kitty cat for you. It's a great name. So you're off to a good start there.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get to the first quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL brought to you by this week's sponsor, the Myles Garrett Corkscrew. Guaranteed to take the top off even the hardest bottle of quarterback you have. It's the Myles Garrett Corkscrew. Is this too soon? I don't know.
Too much.
Probably too
but let's
soon.
do it anyway.
Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, the NFL tried for years to get teams back in the Los Angeles area, and finally now the Rams and the Chargers are paying there, and it's kind of a lesson in be careful what you wish for. Especially pertaining to the new stadium that Rams owner Stan Kroenke is building and that the Chargers will lease out for their games. Less than 5 years ago, the projected cost of the stadium was $1.86 billion. Still a lot more money than I'll ever have, but not too bad, all things considered.
Yeah.
By late 2015, the number had moved up to $2.4 billion. Since then, the project has, quote, gone off the rails, thanks to vendor competition, expensive infrastructure. Heavy rain in 2017 delayed the opening of the stadium by a full year. By March 2018, the price had moved to $5 billion, and officials with the company building the venue now refer to it as, quote, our $6 billion stadium.
Wow.
God.
Part of the problem is part of the stadium financing is being financed by PSLs, and the Chargers aren't selling very many of them.
What?
Ian, they've had to drop the price for upper deck PSLs to $100, which means the ones they are selling aren't bringing in as much revenue as possible.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's costing a lot more than expected. It's bringing in less money than expected already. And, enjoy Los Angeles.
If I'm not mistaken, and one of you should probably know this, I'm guessing Will, but somebody else might. When Paul Allen bought the team and said, okay, we're going to build a stadium, he said, I will give this much. And that, he didn't do the whole thing, but he did the most of it.
Yeah, the projected cost of our stadium at the time was $430 million.
Right, and didn't he put 200 towards it?
He put 100 towards it and volunteered to pay for any cost overruns. Which
so
I think
that's
were
pretty
minimal.
cool. That's pretty cool, and I think that was, but that that's to me the way he handled that. But wow, $6 billion per stadium that they're not going to sell out. Let's be honest, guys.
Nope.
I mean, Matt, are you looking forward to the London Chargers?
So they were mentioning that the other day. They're still talking about the London Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Honestly, every team that can't do well anywhere in America apparently is going to come over here into London and do amazingly well. I think that's a little rubbish, if you ask me.
I agree. Well, we'll see how that goes. Good for them. They got two teams that nobody wants, and now $6 billion stadium. And this was
counting.
And counting, yeah. And
it's
the
not
beat
done
goes
yet.
on, and the beat goes on. Thanks, Will. What
It's
else you got?
terrible
For
if there was like an earthquake and leveled the whole thing before it was finished.
No. If that happens now, Matt.
The Chargers are definitely in trouble, I think, just for their future. That stadium really isn't theirs. It's more of a Ram thing, and it's just like, wow. It's sad. They belong in San Diego.
It's a Ram thing. You'll never know.
If, God forbid, there was a natural
Slow
disaster
clap it
like
out.
that and it did collapse, at least there wouldn't be anybody in it. So.
Oh!
True.
Nice.
But
Very
true.
Stephen Colbert there, Dustin.
Woo! Nice.
Thanks.
And we're off to a great start. Will, what else you got for us?
Well, it's a sad day for one of our. It was a sad day for one of our upcoming opponents, the Minnesota Vikings. Fred Cox, who was their all-time leading scorer, passed away on Wednesday at the age of 80. He was their kicker. He played for the Vikings from 1963 to 1977 and scored 1,065 points, which is 34th in NFL history and tops the Vikings record book.
Amazing.
But actually, most people know something else that Fred Cox did. When he was still playing, he worked with a partner on a side business inventing a foam football. Parker Brothers bought it and renamed it Nerf.
Oh, no. Wow.
So, yes, Fred Cox was one of the co-inventors of the Nerf ball. So, condolences out to his family and loved ones.
Yeah,
very nice.
That was the single best toy as a kid for me between the ages of like 7 and 12. I love those things.
Well, I think he was wise not to name it after himself because, I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to toss around a Cox ball.
Yeah. I'm just going to say that's not a thing to tell Mom.
I'll say it. And I'll say this too. You know, Fred passed away, but his brother Mike carries on. So, and if you say that quick, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but he goes by Mickey for obvious reasons.
I'm sorry.
The Nerf turbos were awesome. It was like half black, half red.
Oh, the ones that had the football and you had like the arrow quiver in the back of it or whatever.
Oh yeah, you could throw those a mile.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
For me, that's like 10 feet, but yeah. If I could throw 10 feet, I was happy.
They were fun.
We were passing this true story real quick. Mo and I were passing the ball, and he's like, "I got a really good spiral. I don't know where I got it from." I said, "Well, you sure the hell didn't get it from me because I can't throw a football to save my life."
I'm pretty accurate up to about 30 yards. After that, I don't got the arm straight.
No, about 5 feet. I'm good for
I'm not in the
5
league.
feet. Yeah. But well, it's interesting. The Nerf ball.
See, but Dustin's so little that he has to throw that ball with 2 hands.
No. That is poor format.
So we learned that the Nerf ball was made by Cox. So on that note, I think thank you, Will.
Suddenly we're 12.
Cox and balls. Yeah.
I brought the show to a screeching halt. Thanks, Will, for the news.
Anytime, Moses.
And that will mercifully end the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this Eagles edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, we get you ready for the Sunday game against the Eagles. But first, a look ahead at the rest of the season. This is your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, removing the helmet of silliness and beating you over the head with it. If that's what you want, we're totally into it. But you have to consent. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
All right, it's quarter 2 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, Flying Like an Eagle. And that's what we're kind of doing. We're getting lower than low. I don't know. Wow. Oh, yeah, whole new show, second quarter, folks. Let's take a look at this season left for the 2019 Seattle Seahawks. I'll figure out how to pronounce things. The rest of the schedule looks like this. Philadelphia on Sunday, home for Monday night against Minnesota, and then Sunday night that next week at the Rams. Then a 1 o'clock game again at Carolina, and the last 2 are 4:25 games at home, Arizona and San Francisco. Will, it is a very daunting 6 games, only one of them under 500. What are your thoughts about our schedule and trying to catch those 49ers?
Well, Carroll and Wilson and all these guys preach one game at a time, and that's really what we got to do. I mean, if you look forward to everybody we have to play, it is pretty daunting, but you just got to take it 1 week at a time, one game at a time. And, even the quote-unquote easy games on our schedule, I mean, the Panthers have stolen a few wins here and there, and the Cardinals went the distance with San Francisco twice in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So they're good enough to steal a game if you're not paying attention.
You're very right. You said something before we came on about what the 49ers have, what their schedule look like, Will?
San Francisco, their next 3 games are against teams that currently have winning percentages over 800, which is better, which has never happened in NFL history before this late in the season.
Brutal. We
so
really
hoping
see what
for
that
0
team's
and 3
made
on those games.
Yeah, we're going to really see what that team's made of as well as we come down the stretch. Zorny, what are your thoughts on the rest of the schedule and the rest of the 49ers schedule? Are we going to be able to catch them?
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely have a shot. I mean, 6 games, a full game lead is a full game lead, but we got 6. It's interesting how I look at this when you look at the schedule at the beginning of the year and then how it changes over time.
Yeah.
And Arizona, I didn't think would be, they've only won, 3 games, but
3-7-1,
they've been way more competitive in their games.
They have.
SF turned out to be much better than I would have thought going into the year. But we've known for a while they've been good. The Rams being where they're at surprises me. So all of a sudden that game looks more encouraging than say it did before, and the Cardinal and Niner games are looking a little bit more interesting than I would have thought. So it's just the dynamic changes. But I mean, in theory we could run the table, or maybe there's going to be a couple of losses, but I mean I like where we're at. This isn't 2013, but this team is definitely coming together.
I agree. Real quick on the Rams. I don't want to talk about every team necessarily, but my nephew, who is a diehard Rams fan, this offseason, he was like, I said, what do you do with Goff? Because he didn't believe in him either. He said, Dennis, he's not the future. I don't believe in him. But what do you do? If you don't sign him, you set your franchise back. And look where they are. I mean, they just went to a Super Bowl. You set your franchise back 2 or 3 years if you don't sign the quarterback you got. I mean, look at all these teams that don't have quarterbacks and they're floundering, right? Begging for one. So he said, we have to sign him, and we're going to have to overpay for him because that's what the market's saying. He said, but we're going to be attaching our star to a wagon, or a wagon to a star. That he said, I don't think he's got it. And I think we're seeing that. Goff has kind of come back down to earth. And they're stuck with him for the next 4 years. I mean, that's going to be their guy.
They may have set their franchise back by signing him, in all honesty.
Well, and it just, we're so lucky that we have the guy that we have.
And Gurley, too.
And and it's just, it's crazy. So, Dustin, what are your thoughts on the rest of the schedule?
Well, I'm going to watch the games.
All right, that's a good plan. Hey, we'll do a show on them, too. You want to do that?
Yeah, probably do that, too. So that's why I'm kind of starting with all this.
Yeah, I like that.
But I know it's supposed to be hard, but honestly, the way Russell Wilson's playing this year and the way the games have gone this year, I didn't expect us to have the record we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if we won all, if not, or most, if not all, the games. To be honest, I think there's a very, very strong chance that game that game at the end of the season against San Francisco might determine the NFC West division winner.
It might very well. And you said this, I think, last week. This team plays up and down to its competition.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, then we're going to see some really good football games the next 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, they have a script. I mean, and they stick to it. And it's the same thing every week. It's bad for your blood pressure, but it's fun.
Very true. Very true. Matt, what are your thoughts on the rest of the schedule?
There's really only one game that I'm really looking forward to, which is the Carolina game, because I should be in Carolina with my sister when we go and watch that live, so I can watch us beat them at home. That would be nice.
That'd be fun.
So I'm really looking forward to that one. I mean, I think we've got 2 5-5s there, if I'm right. So Philly are 5-5.
Yep.
They should be beatable. I think that's for once. That's you know what I'm like. I don't like buys. I always think they take the momentum away from a team a little bit.
Yeah, they can.
We always have a bit of struggle sometimes after the bye, but I think with Philly we should be okay. We'll come on to prognostications later.
Right.
Carolina 5-5, so I think again that's winnable. I don't see anything here that worries me more than Minnesota and San Francisco at the end of the year. And my worry is, although I say a worry, I think the fact that we're at home doesn't give me much confidence.
It doesn't, does it?
Which
is weird. It's really weird.
So being at home for that last game, if it is a decider for the West, for some reason doesn't feel like an advantage, which is weird. But Minnesota and San Francisco are the 2 that I'm most concerned about. But the other 4, I think, should be winnable, really.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, it's so weird because you looked at the schedule. We did our schedule showed like, get two at home at the end of the year could really be a big advantage for us. And now the way we played at home, you kind of go, well, I don't know, maybe playing playoffs on the road isn't such a bad thing this year, but we'll see. Who knows? It like you said, it's hard to tell right now what December's going to look like. So
I guarantee you 100% for a fact, if it comes down to that game for the division win, we're going to win that game. It's just in a way, it'd be almost like the NFC Championship games that we posted. Dude, the place will be a buzz. Everything will be on fire. The crowd will be just into it. The team will play up to it.
It'll be crazy. Crazy. So
So
we'll see. Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Hopefully it comes down to the fact that we're resting people on the 29th because we've already got home field advantage, so it don't matter, which would be wonderful. But there are 5 teams that are 8-2 or better, or is there 6 right now?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I know it's a crazy amount.
It's a crazy amount right now. So what that tells me is that the old adage that 10 wins gets you into playoffs, and we're sitting at 8-2. I don't know this year. You can't right now. You can't sit here and say
it's going to take 11 to be safe.
I think 11 is going to be safe. I think you're right. And even remember that year that the Patriots with Castle were 11-5 and they didn't get in the playoffs.
Yep.
I'm not saying that could happen, but I don't know if everybody at this record already. I don't know. 10's very iffy. You're right. At 11,
let's just win out and play it safe.
Let's just not win 12 or 13 or 14. It's not an issue. That's why I
just
say.
win out through the end of February.
We solved that. We don't have to play scheduling. We're done. We figured it out, guys. We're just going to win out and not worry about it. All right, no more shows.
So it's been a great season, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Everyone. Well done.
Playoffs. No. Playoffs starting in January, so we still got a lot of time ahead. So let's go ahead and forge on to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Oh, coming up on this show, we have so many questions. Was the bye week too long? Was the bye week too short? Were the 49ers hearing footsteps? Yes, all these answers and so much more just around the corner. But first, another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And that's coming up next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
Of the world!
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Matt, Statsman Mark, Dustin, and Will. And here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show trivia champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. All right, you know the rules. 2 rounds, question each round. You can ask the kids anytime you feel like it, once per round. Well, actually, once per 2 rounds. You can't do it anytime you feel like it. That sounded kind of weird. Our champion was Will.
Most of the time it doesn't work.
Yeah, Will, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
2.
Will goes with 2. Matt, 1, 3, 4.
3, please.
Goes with 3. Dustin, 1, 4.
4.
And that leaves Mark with question 1. How you feeling, Mark? You feeling pretty good?
Well, I don't know. Maybe perhaps I should warn everyone to cover their ears for a buzzer sound, but I'm going to give it a go, Dennis.
I love the confidence.
I know.
We spoke about this, Mark. Just whatever your initial gut reaction is, go with the opposite.
That's right.
Listen to the man, all right? All right, here we go. Are you ready, Mark? As usual, there are 3 questions about football and one, well, not necessarily about football. Mark, your question is not necessarily about football. Here we go.
Oh.
Philadelphia is home to America's first what? Philadelphia is home to America's first what? First museum, first post office, or first zoo?
I would have said jail.
Dance! Oh, I see. Jail would have been a great thing to put on there. America's first what? Museum, post office, or zoo is home in Philadelphia?
Wow. Museum, post office, or a zoo. So,
Walk into a bar.
Okay. Well, I don't know about your kids. Did they teach anything in history?
Oh, it's Indiana, dude. They don't teach anything.
Says the teacher.
Are you kidding?
Anyway, okay, for the sake of keeping the show moving, I'm going to say museum.
Keeping it moving, you're going to say museum?
Yeah.
Keep it moving by going to museum. Mosette said post office. Little Mo said post office. You said museum.
It's looking good, Mark. It's looking good.
Nah, I'm sorry. That's zoo.
That's the last.
Yeah.
That's the last one I would have guessed, of course.
It was the zoo. No points for you. We go to Will. Will. First time the Seahawks. Will. Hello.
Yes, go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Hey, the first time the Seahawks played the Eagles in Philadelphia was 1976. You remember that, Will?
No, I was in utero.
Me either. How many times was Seahawk quarterback Jim Zorn sacked in that game? 1, 2, or 3 times the sack?
Well, that was our first year, so I'm going to guess 3.
Oh, wow. Forever the optimist. He's going to go 3. Little Mo said 3.
Oh, dear.
Mosette said 1. You said 3. I'm sorry. It was 1. It was 1. Yeah. You only sacked 1 time. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Hey, the last time the Seahawks played in Philadelphia against the Eagles was 2014.
Right,
How many times did the Seahawks sack quarterback Mark Dirty Sanchez? 1, 2, or 3? How many times was Sanchez sacked by the Seahawks? 1, 2, or 3 times?
It makes me laugh. Oh, let's go 3 times.
You don't even think. You just go.
No, just go with it.
He just goes with it. You don't even think. Mosette said 2.
Good.
Lil Mo said 3. You said 3. Unbelievable.
Wow.
There's no method to the madness. He just
No,
does.
there really isn't.
There really isn't.
He's 80% of the time.
I know.
It's a British thing.
He's better than Sex Panther, the one. 80% of the time it works every time. Dustin.
Yeah.
Hey, when the Seahawks played the Eagles in Philadelphia back in 1989, how many times was Seahawk quarterback Dave Craig sacked? 1, 2, or 3 times?
I don't know. I wasn't there, dude.
All right, we'll move to another question.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's do one I can answer.
1, 2, or 3. Dave Craig, how many times was he sacked in 1989?
I don't know, but he is a nice guy. I tailgated with him once.
He is a nice guy. I got a great story about him from Arizona. He was supposed to show up for like a sign and talk for like an hour. He stayed for like 5 hours. He didn't care. He hung out with everybody. He's a wonderful guy.
He's pretty cool dude. Yeah, I got a picture with him somewhere.
I know somebody that knows him
What were the
personally.
options again? I'm sorry. I was playing Words with Friends also.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your Words with Friends.
Yeah.
When the Seahawks played the Eagles in Philadelphia back in 1989, how many times was Seahawk quarterback Dave Craig sacked? 1, 2, or 3 times?
What'd the kids say? I never asked the kids. Let's see what happens.
Mosette and Little Mo both said 1.
I'll go as far opposite as I can then. What was the most?
1, 2, or 3?
3. I'll go 3.
So the kids went 1. You go 3 just because you want to not be associated with my kids in any way, shape, or form.
It's good advice according to Matt.
Yes, it is. You got it.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
So embarrassed. All right. Matt has a point. Dustin has a point. Will and Mark, there's still hope because there's round 2. 5, 6, 7, or 8. Matt.
There is no hope.
Matt, what'd you say?
I'm sorry. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll go with 7.
Are you playing Words with Friends with Dustin or?
Actually, no.
No, I wasn't, but I was just looking at Twitter.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your guys' evening. Dustin, 5, 6, or 8?
8.
Dustin, 8.
Gonna hassle back it up over here.
Mark, 5 or 6?
I'll go 5. I'll try my luck again.
All right. Will, that means you have number 6.
Okay.
Okay, Mark. Well, you're fine. You got a question about football. When the Seahawks played the Eagles back in 2007, how many interceptions did Lofa Tatupu have for the Seahawks?
Ooh, I wish I'd gotten this one.
Lofa Tatupu did 1, 2, or 3. How many interceptions did Lofa Tatupu have for the Seahawks in 2007?
I like that guy.
7.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Was that
Carolina?
I'm trying to remember if that was the game where we beat Philadelphia like 40-7.
No, that was 2005. This was later.
Okay.
That's the one where he got the interception, and Ken Norton Jr. was in the stands, and he had played at USC. So he like pointed at Norton and ran into and started beating up the post like he was boxing it.
Oh, right.
Oh, one of my favorite all-time Seahawk moments was him beating on that Eagles post.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great. I'm sorry.
Okay, now
Lofa, how many interceptions? 1, 2, or 3 in 2007?
2007
against the Eagles.
I will go 2.
He will go 2. Little Mo went 2. Mosette went 2. You went 2. No, it was 3. Yeah, crazy. 3 in one game.
Well, at least we were all crushed together.
He did that against Carolina in the NFC Championship also, if I remember correctly.
There was a great picture from that Eagles game of A.J. Feely, their quarterback, sliding, and you just see Lofa Tatupu from the back coming in on him, and A.J. Feely has this look of horror on his face, like, I gotta see if I can find it.
Wow,
that was brilliant. And I saved it. It was just too perfect.
Wow.
I always get him mixed up with Jay Feely, the kicker for the Giants from that awesome game.
Yeah. Feely, nothing more than Feely. Hey, Will.
Yes.
Is your voice back?
Yes.
Okay. You have question 6. When the Seahawks played the Eagles back in 1998, how many touchdowns did Joey Galloway catch for the Seahawks in that game? 1, 2, or 3? Or as I call him, Joey Go Away, when he started making his demands. 1998, how many touchdown catches for Joey Galloway against the Eagles in 98? 1, 2, or 3?
Well, we won that game something like 38-0, so he had to have had at least 2.
Are we sure he wasn't holding out that game?
Not that I know.
That
of.
was 99.
Yeah, that was.
But before I do a final answer, let me ask the kids.
Oh, okay. Little Mo said 1, and Mosette said 2.
Well, then I'm going 3.
Awesome.
The love for my children is amazing. You went 3, huh?
Yep.
No, it was 2. Take that.
See, it's the last time I listened to Matt.
Yeah.
I didn't actually say anything.
Hey, Mark. Or Matt, you're up. I'm sorry. Matt. Hi,
Hello.
Matt. Hello.
Hi.
Matt, are you familiar with the group The Eagles?
A little bit, but not a lot.
The musical group? Well, your question is about them. What was the first number 1 song for the Eagles in America? Was it Already Gone, Best of My Love, or Take It Easy? First number 1 song for the group The Eagles, Already Gone, Best of My Love, or Take It Easy?
I like Take It Easy, but let's house the kids.
Okay. Mosette said Best of My Love, and Little Mo said Take It Easy.
I only know one of those songs.
Exactly, that's the one I love. I'd say Take It Easy. You can say what I know.
All right. You said Take It Easy, and now,
so sad.
To present us the answer, I give you the Eagles with the answer.
Oh, we got it wrong.
Yeah.
Take It Easy.
Best of My Love.
Yeah, wow.
By the Eagles. Their first number 1, 1974, I believe. For those keeping track.
Wow.
Yeah. This will just make you like 5 minutes into it. All right.
Oh no, the harmony sounded pretty nice.
It was nice. They worked hard on it. So anyway, Matt, you got it wrong.
And not a single tattoo in the band. Well, it was a different era.
What? Is that
Matt,
true?
So Matt, for the record, there you go.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks.
I
wouldn't have to throw a flag if you hadn't done that.
Yeah, you can look this up. Dustin.
Yeah.
When the Eagles played the Eagles, when the Seahawks played the Eagles in Philadelphia, back in 2005, that's the game we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how many touchdown passes did Matt Hasselbeck have in that game? 1, 2, or 3?
Matt Hasselbeck, 2005, against the Philadelphia Eagles, threw 4.
You're not Googling, are you?
No, I was not Googling.
Okay.
That would be a lot to Google and type in all at once.
I don't know the way you were saying.
He was using DuckDuckGo.
He sounded like, you remember when they used to have that on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? They'd call somebody and you knew they were on the computer. And they'd say, like, what's the capital of it? The capital of Afghanistan is, like, that. You could tell they were typing it into some computer.
I was just trying to sound confident.
All right. Matt Hasselbeck, how many touchdown throws? 1, 2, or 3?
I forgot how many you have for options now.
1, 2, or 3?
We threw a lot. I'll say 2.
I'll say 2.
Threw a lot.
We threw a lot.
They threw. Well, I'm just saying that offense. They threw a lot more than the current offense.
Mosette said 2. Little Mo said 3.
Oh man, it was 1.
You said yeah. How do you know that?
Oh God!
How did I know that?
Yeah.
Because I said something and they agreed with me, and then they said the other thing that I didn't say, so I knew it had to be the third option.
We did have 2 returns for touchdown in that game, though.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
2 touchdowns for and I think Sean Alexander scored the other ones. All right, or for the most part. So, here's where we stand. Matt has a point. Dustin has a point. Mark and Will, unfortunately, have no points. But do not fret, my friends.
We have no point.
But now is time for the final question. Final question. Are you there?
Yes.
I think so.
All right. You guys. Okay, it's a high-low. The one closest without going over gets 2 points and is 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia champion. If everybody's over, whoever's closest to the number gets it. And what order we will go is Will is first, Mark is second, Dustin is third, and Matt is fourth. Here we go. Final question, and then we'll start with Will. Are you ready, Will?
No, but let's do it anyway.
All right. Hey, the last time the Seahawks played the Eagles, it was 2017 in Seattle. How many rushing yards did Mike Davis have in that game? Mike Davis.
Wow.
How many rushing yards for Mike Davis against the Eagles in 2017? Mike Davis.
I'm going to guess 86.
Will's going to guess 86. Mark.
Mike Davis. Wow. And he's done nothing in Chicago. Is he still even on the Bears?
No.
I think they cut him,
They
actually.
cut him, and I think Carolina picked him up. Somebody picked him up.
Uber.
Anyway.
Oh, upgraded on Christian McCaffrey. That's smart of them.
I don't know if
Let's
it's Carolina or not, but somebody did.
I will say, wow. I have a sense this is going to be kind of a lower number. I will go 59.
All right. 86-59. Dustin.
Well, I doubt he was a starter, so I think the correct answer is 65.
65. 86, 65, 59. Matt.
I'll go 58. Sorry, I didn't push my button.
Oh.
That does help.
Sorry. 58, 59, 65, and 86 are our final answers. We have a winner.
Ooh.
Of course you would, obviously. When the Seahawks played the Eagles in 2017 in Seattle, Mike Davis had 64 yards.
Damn it.
Wow.
Off by a yard.
Obviously, Dennis, you didn't hear me when I said the correct answer was 65.
But I'm kidding. I said 65, but I meant 64. Mark! Stats man Mark!
Did I?
Wow.
Wow.
With the 59.
Wow.
Good guesses,
So I
everybody.
came
Those were
from
really
behind?
good.
You sure did.
That's your song, man.
I'm
Wait.
so shocked.
Hold on, I'll help you out here. This will help you.
We all are.
There you go. There's a little more of your theme song. Does that help?
Oh, man. I guess you could use it as percussion. But
Hey, Mark won. All right, there we go. Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you.
Well done.
I'm still in shock.
I can tell. You'll be third quarter going, did I really just win trivia? Hey, it's been another amazing, crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
The world.
We'll be right back with the second half of the show. Joe, take us out.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
It is the third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam Show, now with more Retson for that wider smile. Hey, we have a game coming up, believe it or not. Bye week's over. It is time to talk about Seahawk football, and that's exactly what we do in quarter 3 and quarter 4. In quarter 3, we give you all the information you need to get ready for that game on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, a 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. That's 10 a.m. out in Seattle, and Matt, in England, it is
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m., so that'll be good for you.
Prime time.
Loving it.
Yeah, good for you. So 1 o'clock start, which this team doesn't do too bad on, really, but we'll move on. Let's see how healthy these teams are by turning to our own doctor, Dr. Dustin, with a 12-man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell us the news.
Doctor, give me the news.
All right, we are going to start with those Philadelphia Eagles. They have 2 players that are out. Tackle Lane Johnson, that's a big one. He's a Pro Bowl right tackle. He's got a concussion, did not participate in practice. He's still in the protocol. He is out. That means we're going to have a rookie filling in for him. Dillard, I believe, is his last name. He's from Washington, played for Washington State, and is going to be going up against our Seahawks this week at right tackle.
Wow.
I hope we kick his ass.
Hope we do, too.
Yeah. But, good luck next week. And then safety Rudy Ford is also out. It says abdomen injury. I, truth be told, I got out of work late. I didn't have a lot of time to research this today. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it just says abdomen and did not practice, I don't know what that means. There's a lot of injuries that could happen there. All right, questionable for the Eagles. We have wide receiver Nelson Aguilar. He's had a knee injury. He did not participate in practice. This has been ongoing, I guess, for him a little bit. It's been a nagging injury. Wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey has an ankle. He was limited in practice.
Wow.
And running back Jordan Howard has a shoulder injury. He was limited in practice.
Ooh,
now, I did get the benefit of listening to the radio on my long drive home, and they had a reporter from Philadelphia talking on the way back, and he was specifically talking about injuries. He said Jordan Howard is probably not going to play. He highly doubts it.
Ooh.
He said Aguilar and Jeffrey, he thinks they're going to play, but they're not going to be anywhere near 100%. They're just going to play because they don't have a lot of options at receiver, probably.
Mercy.
Yep.
That's big.
Yep. Now, the Seattle Seahawks, on the other hand, doubtful for the Seahawks is tight end Luke Wilson. He's got a hamstring injury, did not participate in practice. However, Pete Carroll is not counting him out. Really? He actually said he would consider him, what was it?
Game time?
Was that?
Game time decision?
Oh, no. The designation that they took out.
Oh, the IR?
No. Probable. Yeah, he said he's
no kidding.
Probable doubtful.
Wow. That's weird.
Yeah, that's what he said. Because apparently Luke Wilson just has this thing where his injuries heal fast. I guess he had a high ankle sprain that he played with a week later. That's the first time.
Well, it's because he's Canadian.
He's got some of that Canadian Wolverine blood in him.
Yeah, it's Canadian. What happens is if we're out for 4 weeks in Canada, it's only like 2.5 weeks. Because of the exchange.
It's the maple syrup.
Yeah.
And then questionable, we have Nico Thorpe. He has a groin injury, has not practiced. I don't think that's as big of a deal because interested to see what Ugo Amadi's doing. He's going to end up having the start this week at Nickelback. And then the big one that I think was it came out of nowhere. I heard nothing about it these last couple weeks until today on the ride home. Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
He has a knee/hip injury is what this says, and he did not participate in practice. Pete Carroll on the radio was saying it was his hip. He injured it during the game, and they pulled him. And that's concerning to me because that affects your lateral movement, which you would obviously need. And then if it's an acute injury that happens during a game and it's not a pulled muscle, it's not a soft tissue thing. They specifically mentioned the hip, not the hamstring or a groin. I'm concerned about his labrum, which is part of the hip joint itself. And if that's torn, that could be a problem. And I would liken that to Richard Sherman's Achilles tendon back when he was still with us, where they said he's got an Achilles issue. We're working with it. We're trying to make sure he can get through the season, and then it tore.
Yeah, it tore. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the wording and the way that they're describing this reminds me of that.
Yikes.
But it makes me think of a labrum in the hip.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's that. And that's it for the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's enough. Well, hopefully, we'll see what the deal is with Clowney. We'll see the deal is with Wilson. That's interesting news on Wilson. And them starting to write.
Luke Wilson. I'm sorry. I was thinking Russell. My bad.
And interesting about them starting a rookie tight end or rookie right tackle or left tackle. It's right tackle, right?
It was right tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, and then losing their weapons, two of their receivers and their running back that if they play are not going to be very 100%. So should be an interesting. Those injuries are definitely going to play a part in this game. So we'll see how that goes.
There's some big names in there.
Yes, there are. Thank you so much, Dustin. Appreciate it. Good job.
Yep.
As always. And now let's take a look at what the weather and fashion is going to be for the game by turning to a guy living in England. Yes, it's time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Weather and Fashion Report with Matt from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
It's raining men.
Thank you, Moses. So, weather can be a funny old business, and we have been finding ever stranger ways of predicting it since ancient times. And obviously, ancient times in the USA being any date before 1925. So, I had to have a look at some old ways of forecasting weather for this game. And did you know that this is old folklore that if cats were thought to clean their ears before it rains?
No.
Absolutely true. And if you want to try and work out the temperature, right, you've got to convert the cricket chirps, the little chirps that crickets make. You can convert those into degrees Fahrenheit by counting the number of chirps in 14 seconds and then adding 40, and that gives you the temperature in Fahrenheit.
You're kidding. I never heard that.
That's exactly true. Wow. It's absolutely true. It came off the internet. Must be true.
Yeah.
So, of course, I tried both of these. Now, I don't own a cat, which should have probably told me this was not the best one to pick. But I don't own a cat. But it did make it difficult. But I did clean my ears myself after a shower early this morning, and I am the biggest pussy I know. So I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if that counts or not. But anyway, so I think there could be some rain in the forecast. We don't really get lots of crickets over here in the UK, let alone ones that chirp. So instead, I thought I would use the sport cricket. Because England are playing in New Zealand at the moment, so good luck, fellas, down there. So I took the England score at the end of the first day and added 40 to that, but that came out at 393 degrees Fahrenheit, which seemed a tad warm to me for Philly in November.
I bet.
So I gave up on that one too. So then after that, I checked NFLweather.com, and they said a slight chance of rain, so maybe cleaning the ears works at kickoff, but that will clear as the game goes on, with temperatures in the low to mid 40s. Now, what to wear for this game? Moses, Philly is full of the oldest history of your country, anything before 1925. So what is the first thing you think about when you think about Philly?
Liberty Bell.
Yeah, that's right. A film starring Tom Hanks and a man dying of AIDS. Absolutely, me too. So what better outfit to go with any of the amazing characters played by Tom Hanks over the years? So that could be Forrest Gump, it could be Woody from Toy Story, or even his latest movie role as the wonderful Mr. Rogers.
Oh.
For extra credit, make sure that you take your jacket off at halftime, change your shoes, and look directly at the person in the seat next to you and say, "Hello, neighbour." And then start to sing, "It's a beautiful day in this neighbourhood, a beautiful day for a neighbour. Will you be mine?" Oh. And look straight at them when you do it.
Yeah,
Just remember to...
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just remember to throw a Hawks jersey over all of that, and you'll be absolutely fine.
Perfect.
Prud from the Hood will be back this weekend too, Moses.
Excellent.
Looking at some Pennsylvanian Dutch funnel cakes. So I'll upload a video of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page over this weekend. But all that being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. Moses, back over to you.
Thank you. A couple questions real quick. Did you tell people to jacket off at halftime?
Take your jacket off. Not
take the jacket off
at halftime. I mean, you could do
look
at
you were saying looking at somebody and say, "Won't you be my neighbor while it's happening?" Which that kind of threw me off too. But
that's a different Mr. Rogers video. I've never seen that one.
Okay. So just take your sweater off. No. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you, Matt. As usual, always fantastic.
So good.
Yes. And now the guy that always has our numbers, the man with numbers and tokens all around him. It's time for Statsman Mark and the 12-man Fan Jam Show by the numbers for our game and maybe a couple of teasers, Mark.
Ricky don't lose that number. Ricky don't lose that number. Ricky don't lose that number.
Boy, you're so close to breaking glass.
I know. Ella Fitzgerald would be proud when she, God rest her soul.
Yes, or Coco Hontus. No. Anyway, yes, the games. Again, people have noticed all year I seldom review the previous week's picks because, well, it's a lot of buzzers. So I just focus on the present. I think I got 1 out of 5 correct. I just, if I were in that super contest, well, Anyway, all right. So your 5 games this week, leading off. Our own Seahawks at the beginning of the week. I think it's down to a pick'em. I don't know if anyone else has looked.
Oh, really?
But at the beginning of the week, Philly was favored by 2.5.
Right.
And I grabbed the points, so that's what I'm going off of. But I think we're going to win this game anyway.
So Philly by 2.5, but it's gone down to a pick'em. Gotcha.
It's gone down to a pick'em, but if you line shop, okay. So I got the 2.5, but we won't need it.
No.
And then this is a little bit of kind of in the rooting for category. That's rare that I root for Green Bay, but they're in San Francisco.
Yeah, you got to.
And it's 3.5, and that half point's an interesting kind of hook, But I'm going to take it, and I don't know. Vegas is suckering me in, but anyway, I'm taking Green Bay in the 3.5. Now Cleveland, given how the game they're coming off. And I think Myles Garrett, I'm going to say, is probably suspended here for this game.
Yeah. For the
anyway,
year, I think that's
they're still favored by 10.5 points over the Dolphins, and I'm going with Fitzmagic in Cleveland. So there'll be no mistake by the lake. I'm taking Fitzmagic in the 10.5.
Nice.
And I don't see how Cleveland can even. I don't know. Cleveland being favored by double digits is
it's crazy.
And there's a team, kind of in a little bit of ways from Dennis, but Cincinnati. Has yet to win a game.
That's true.
I don't think they're going to win, but I'm going to take the 6.5 points, and so the Bengals maybe can feel a little bit of encouragement for that.
Are you guys aware that at one point there was a guy up in a billboard for Cincinnati until they won their first game? And I think
still going on?
Please tell me he gave up and came inside.
I think he gave up and came down last week. I think he said 2 more weeks and I'm done. But yeah, he was up there start of the season. He was up there for at least 2 months. But it's a true story. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I digress.
No, that's just that's like a different version of like Castaway. Like he has a volleyball up there, and he's
up there spearing fish.
And so the final game, it's a long way from the glory days. Well, actually, Buffalo's doing pretty well, but I think Buffalo at home will cover a 3.5 number against Denver. So I don't know who the Broncos quarterback. I don't even know. They bench Flacco, and I don't even know who they're playing.
My son said the same thing. Who's their quarterback? We had stopped the live broadcast. It was like Allen or something. Yeah, it don't matter.
So, and again, as always, if you want to have any legitimate shot at making money, take all of my picks except Seattle and just flip them.
Excellent. Hey, what's the over/under for our game?
And the over/under, geez, I'm glad you remind me. The over/under, because it's funny, I never bet totals because I don't win. I don't like them, but I don't win on the other picks. It's 45.5.
45.5. All right, excellent.
For our over/under.
Well done. Thank you, sir. And a quick disclaimer, these numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting or anything at any time. Please don't take this or anything we say on the show seriously, ever. Thank you so much, Statsman Mark.
See.
And now to read his sermon for this game, please be upstanding for our very own Reverend Moses, the self-appointed Reverend of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. Oh, Reverend!
Yes, this is the Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church Seahawk Positivity. How is everyone this evening?
We're good, thanks, Reverend.
You have a nice break over the bye week, I'm sure.
It was boring.
It was boring. Well, we're going to fix that, my young English friend, here in just a moment. We have a reading. If I can have a little church up in here, if you don't mind. We're going to have a reading from the book of the 2019 NFL season, chapter 11, verses 3 to 12. There has been much resting, but we shall rest no longer. We must travel eastward, east to the land of brotherly love, east to the land of liberty bells. There we shall find green birds who wish to fly above us, but they do not and will not be strong enough in the face of Seahawk positivity. And those green birds shall not rise but fall to the ground in defeat. And there shall be much rejoicing in the land of Seahawk positivity. So go forth, my brethren. Go forth and spread the good word of Seahawk positivity. Praise Largent. Praise Cortez, praise Walter Jones, praise Kenny Easley. Go Hawks! This is the end of the third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam show. We'll be right back after this. Take us out, man.
You're listening to the 12-man Fan Jam show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
I'm surrounded by idiots! Idiots!
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Hey, we have made it to the fourth and final quarter of this episode of your 12-man Fan Jam show. Never a nasty aftertaste. In this quarter, we make up our game score predictions, our prognostications, and of course, our game balls for that upcoming Sunday game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles, 1 o'clock Eastern Time and 10 o'clock Seattle time, and 6 o'clock if you're in merry old England, apparently. Mm-hmm. So we will go with our picks now. Let's start with Team 12. Jose says, I'll say 23-16. Prognostication, we get 5 sacks and game ball to Clowney. Ooh. Hopefully these fans don't throw anything at the guys. These are the same idiots that once threw snowballs at Santa. True. Tom, 30-23. Seahawks, Clowney at this game ball. And Clowney with at least 2 more sacks. So they might be hurting. Little Mo, 31-20. Seattle will get 3 sacks or more, and Metcalf is his game ball. Mark Ty Turner says, going back to Philly where we haven't lost since 1989. That was opening day, 1989. Steve Largent, playing in his last season, got hurt in that game and missed 7 games. That was 30 years ago. Since there's only been W's in the city of brotherly love. Will it be another one Sunday? Well, it's moved from Sunday night to 10 a.m., and I'm not happy about that. We've been winning with smoke and mirrors. The Hawks have only been A or 2 or better 3 times before this year, and 2 of those years we went to the Super Bowl. However, this squad, in his opinion, is in no way as good as the 84, 2005, or 2013 teams, but Philly isn't the team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago either. Hawks win 24-20 over the Eagles, as they're known in Philly. Game ball to DK for having 150 yards receiving. Woo! That's his game ball. And his prognostication is Russ scores a running touchdown. I will give that to him because it's a running touchdown for Russ, which has not happened very often this year, so I'll give that to him. He said, play some cool Philly soul music after this one because it's going to be really tough down the stretch. Sad to agree with him on that, but it is true. And then, of course, Mike Pascal, who I don't know if you guys are familiar with a certain show called Doctor Who. Will, are you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Matt, you are? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's like that bootleg Bill and Ted, right?
Yeah, something like that. He says, crap.
I know the old one better than the new one.
I sent my predictions from the TARDIS, but I ended up going forward instead of backwards, so you won't get them until next year. So here they are again. Seahawks 23, Lesser Hawks 20. Prediction, Lockett becomes back and has 50 yards receiving. Game ball to Carson. Bonus prediction, he always has a bonus for fun. Wentz brings a wench with a winch who winces when he wrenches his wrist when Wagner wraps him up. Nice.
Wow.
Way to go.
He said take your time saying that, and I am going to say it. Wentz brings a wench with a winch who winces when he wrenches his wrist when Wagner wraps him up. Wow.
Wow.
And she sold seashells by the seashore. Okay. That is their team now. It's time for our team. Will, hi.
Hi, Moses.
How are you, sir?
I am all right. Yourself?
Not unwell, thank you. What you got for me?
Okay, how about Seahawks 26, Eagles 17?
All right.
My game ball is going to go to Chris Carson, who's going to take care of his fumbling problem for the second and hopefully last time this season.
Yes.
And we'll have a good game. And my prognostication actually is made in the light of the Clowney news. I think Shaquem Griffin gets his first NFL sack.
Nice.
There you go.
I like that. I hope so. Like I said, I don't know what's showing
Well,
up on the
strictly
stats.
speaking,
but...
I hope he gets his first, second, and third. But
well,
I'll settle
we'll
for
take one to start. Yeah, we got to start with number one. Good predictions, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, sir?
I'm well, thanks.
Wonderful. What you got for us?
I think it's going to be Seahawks 28, Eagles 20.
Okay.
And I think Carson's going to get sacked twice and suffer one INT.
Which one you want, the 2 sacks or the 1 INT?
I was going to put them both together as in not give you sacked twice and has an INT. So
that's hurting our chances, Matt. Figure it out.
Damn. I'll give you 2 sacks.
Yes, sir.
Two sacks. Go ahead.
No, hold on. I'm thinking about it now. We'll have one INT.
Oh, 1 INT. Okay. Who's your game ball?
Diggs.
Nice. I can totally digs that. Hi, Statsman Mark.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
Good. Oh, the game.
Yeah, we have a game here.
Well, we're going to prevail. I'm going to call this 27-23 Seattle.
We're going to prevail. And we're also in 1895. The Seahawks prevailed today in their endeavor.
Yes. Yes, we will prevail.
I feel like there needs to be NFL games music behind that.
Yeah, there does. But we're not
on the frozen tundra of financial fear.
That man.
That man right there. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. That co-solo would be like, that man, Hollister. And that's my game ball.
I don't know his first name. Hollister's your game ball?
And he'll have he'll get a TD. So Hollister, game ball, and TD.
Nice.
And also, I meant NFL films.
Yeah, I know. Hi, Dustin. How are you?
Hey.
Hi. Would you like to give us
Hello,
a
sir.
prediction, score, game ball, prognostication, if it pleases you?
It does. I will proceed.
Fantabulous.
All right. So I'm going to say Seahawks are going to win 27-17.
No. Okay.
I feel like the stars are kind of aligning at this point. We had the 2 weeks off for this particular player anyways. We had 2 weeks off. He was supposed to gain some weight. They think that's the main problem, is why he hasn't been performing.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I think that...
he's going there.
Nobody to throw to this week. And the running game is going to be horrible. I think there's going to be some extra time to get at this quarterback. And this particular player is going to show why we signed him and actually show up and make some plays. And so I'm going to say Ziggy Ansah is going to have 2 sacks.
You going to get Ziggy with it?
I'm getting Ziggy with it.
No,
he's going to get my game ball too.
Wow. So Ziggy with a sack?
2
sacks. And Ziggy is your game ball. Wow. So
that's right, Mon.
Man. So you're gonna
set, let's go. Dance for pro. Yep.
Getting Ziggy with it. Nice.
Just can't say. Yeah, I just feel like the stars are aligning it. The way things are lining up, I feel like it's going to be a good game for him.
Because basically the pro size train has long sailed, I think.
Oh, no.
But we'll see.
Moses, trains don't sail.
Yeah, tune in next week for the pro size thing.
Trains don't sail. That's a great point.
Has he been active in these games? I just don't.
Some.
Off and on.
Yeah.
Well, they're saving him for the last half of the season. That's going to be how they win the rest of these games
there
after this. Is CJ Pro size is going to get going.
Okay. Well, it's my turn.
Don't make that an official prognostication, by the way.
I will not. It's been a fun couple of weeks basking in 49er victory glory, but time presses on, and the Seahawks are headed into the final push for the Lombardi, and that journey starts in Philadelphia. Yes, Philadelphia, the land of cheesesteaks and cream cheese, the land of brotherly love and sisterly-like romantic arrangements. Yes, the home of the Liberty Bell and maybe one of the worst Elton John songs ever written. This cannot stand. I'm sorry. Philadelphia Freedom, Elton, I love you. I love everything you do. Love everything about you. But this has got to be one of the worst songs he's ever written. So we're going to change it up a little bit. When you think of Philadelphia, I think most people my age think of this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spend most of my days.
So a little bit of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for you there. That's more like it. This is real. A young man whose only hope is that he gets shipped across country away from this godforsaken land of Philadelphia to escape to a new world. Oh, if only the Eagles were this lucky. After beating the Patriots for a Super Bowl victory about 75% of Eagle fans thought they would never have back in Super Bowl 52, they kind of cooled down a bit to the point where Philadelphia sports fans can once again feel comfortable calling sports talk shows screaming about how bad their team is. And there's nothing quite like that for them, is it? The Philadelphia Eagles are led by Carson Wentz, who looks like Ronald McDonald and Prince Harry had an illegitimate child. He's had 6 turnovers in the last 4 games, 5 of them fumbles, which is mind-boggling for a quarterback. Ooh. Head coach Doug Peterson, who looks like John Hamm and Rob Riggle had an illegitimate child, has tried everything to get his team off life support, but at 5-5, the only thing that could save them is a terrible division. Wait a minute. Cowboys, Giants, Redskins. Hey, wish granted. Unfortunately for them, they have little margin for error, and facing the 8-2 Seahawks is not the way to get back in the playoff picture. They probably have as much fun as a chance of making the playoffs as the Eagles band has of headlining a Republican fundraiser. There's a little Eagles headlining a Republican fundraiser. Is this thing on? Hello? I'll be here all week. Look it up, kids.
Tip your waitress.
Yeah, look it up. Watch my game ball DK Metcalf put up big numbers in this game. Watch the Seahawk defense cause Carson Wentz to have 2 turnovers in this game, my prognostication. Oh, San Francisco, you better watch your back. The Seahawks are in this for the long run and plan to take this division to the limit as they win by a score of Seattle Seahawks 27, Philadelphia Eagles 17. Book it! I know, same thing Dustin said. I don't care, Dustin. We are going to just rack up the points this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we are. Okay, well, I guess it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We're so glad you decided to waste some time with us, and we certainly hope you laughed a little. Maybe you learned a little something. What did we learn? We learned how inflation hits L.A. We learned it's a Ram thing, so you got to slow clap it out. We learned who invented Nerf, and we're thankful that he didn't use his last name. Mm-hmm. We learned that Moses can't throw a football, and trains don't sail. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our news hound, Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark, Dustin as the Beaver, Mike Pascal, Roger Goodell, Mark, Ty, Turner, Jose, Tom, Mozette, Little Mo, Ron Jaworski, Wilbert Montgomery, Bill Berge. This is Moses saying until next time, go Hawks!
Go
Hawks!
Go Hawks!
So nice to have football back.
We made it a whole show without a single Rocky reference.
What the hell's wrong?
That's impressive. I thought that's where you're going to go with the song, was going to be Rocky.